After a parent learned that her son became rude to his teacher, she chose to teach him a valuable lesson in politeness that he'd never forget by involving law enforcement. The question is, what had he done that warranted the involvement of the police? Realizing that each thing you do has consequences is sometimes a very hard lesson to learn. Chiquita Hill's story is one that illustrates this point very well. Sean's mother, then 10, took drastic steps after discovering what her son was up to at school. ABC News shared how Sean's fifth-grade teacher informed his mother about him misbehaving at school, being rude and disrespectful, failing to do his homework, and talking back. The educator felt the student's issue needed serious intervention and decided to visit him at home. Sean's teacher thought talking to him with his mother around would lead to a better outcome. However, the boy was as stubborn as ever. Chiquita recalled how the educator's admonitions went in one ear and out the other, making her realize she needed to do something more to awaken Sean to the error of his ways, with her saying, "I knew I had to do something to shock him." After the exasperated teacher took her leave, Chiquita decided to turn to the police for help by calling for assistance from the Columbus Police Department. The parent, who was at the end of her wits, informed the law enforcers about her stubborn-headed and rude son. After hearing her out, some police officers decided to pay Chiquita's house a visit. Just before they arrived, Chiquita gave her son the last chance to repent from his wayward ways before informing him about the police coming over to discipline him, but the little boy didn't believe her. Chiquita recalled, "When they showed up to the door, that's when it hit him." Upon their arrival, the police explained what they would be doing for Sean's mother, and with her blessings, they moved forward with the plan. They started by putting the little boy in handcuffs before walking him out of his mother's house to the squad car. The boy, crying and screaming, was secured in the backseat of the police cruiser, where he remained for close to 5 minutes. They knew how intelligent children have become and decided to make the arrest as authentic as possible. One of them got in the car and, for an added effect, flashed the lights and drove up several inches to give Sean a proper scare. Chiquita got the VIP seat to watch all the fake drama play out as her little boy continued crying. She later confessed that the whole plan went by so fast that her son had no time to react to it all, which left him believing they were taking him straight to jail. The 10-year-old's mother said, "I was trying to get a point across to my son. If you want to be disrespectful and you want to be rude, this is what happens when bad people do bad things." The police gave Sean a good earful before eventually deciding he'd been sufficiently shaken. The law enforcers then let him out of the car and watched him run as fast as possible to the safe haven of his mother's arms. Chiquita didn't know what the policeman said to her son in the car, but when he returned to her, Sean came back as a changed boy. His mother shared, "Sean gave me the biggest hug and said, 'I'll never do it again.'" After the police left, she sat him down and they spoke about what happened, with her making him understand that his actions have consequences and are often paid for by those around him. The results convinced Chiquita that she had done the right thing. Human beings tend to hold on to some memories that will never be forgotten. Sean's mother was sure he wouldn't forget what she taught him about politeness, especially since he was growing older in a country where more children were easily influenced by bad habits. Assistant Chief Lem Miller of the Columbus Police Department said the officers who got involved in Chiquita's incident did that without express approval from their supervisors. He noted how the state police are not in the business of pretending to arrest somebody. Miller acknowledged how great it was that the policemen were able to scare the boy straight, but it could have made Sean think worse of the police, which could reflect badly in his life later. However, he confirmed that there would be no punishment for the officers because they were only trying to do a good deed. Despite that, the abuse of the power of their uniforms was something he wouldn't tolerate. Miller said, "We totally understand that they were trying to do a good thing, but clarified that they were not endorsing it and from there on out would be discouraging such drastic steps." Despite what Miller said, Chiquita is convinced her decision was right, especially because she started receiving good updates from her son's fifth-grade teacher. However, when the news broke on the internet, Facebook users quickly shared their opinions. An almost equal number of people praised Sean's mother, while others condemned her for it, with one user writing, "A mother who cares will do almost anything to see to it that her child walks the straight and narrow path and amp. If this is what it takes, then so be it." The reader also figured the lesson would prevent Sean from doing wrong and he won't end up afraid of the police. Another, who thought what Chiquita did was wrong, said her husband is a retired policeman and hated it when people told their children that law enforcement would get them if they didn't get in line. It was clear some thought it was too harsh, but Chiquita could care less because her actions wrought the change she desired in her son. Sometimes, it may seem like life lessons are too cruel. Still, in hindsight, one needs to understand that it is a necessary measure, and this is what made Chiquita take the step that ultimately made little Sean regret his actions.